Emily, and welcome to the primary bedroom of my 120-year-old house. I have been living in the house for about 2 weeks, and I think it is time for some beautification. My first big project in this house is going to be this bedroom and closet. A couple weeks ago, I ripped up the carpet in the primary bedroom and the hallway, and things are looking a little chaotic up here. At the moment, I am set up in the guest room, but I really would like to get this room done. So despite what else is happening in the house, I have a little oasis to come to at the end of the day. I am also at the stage of home renovation where I have a couple big ticket items that I need to purchase, things that need to be done by professionals and that are very expensive. I just don't have a lot of money for beauty right now. So I am on the lookout for those home projects that are both relatively inexpensive and also very tedious, because at the moment I have more time than money and baby needs a new electrical panel. My next project is to prepare the bedroom and closet for renovations. A little bit of cleaning, a little bit of patching, a little bit of light demolition, because a lot of that stuff is relatively cheap. So let's get started. First task of the day is to give the mini split a more thorough cleaning. I suspect that there is some mold in it, so I'd like to get that taken care of. I will be getting the mini splits professionally cleaned and serviced. However, my heating and cooling guy said that it needs to be above 70 degrees in order for him to do the whole job. And I'm not really using them at the moment because it is January, so just gonna give that a clean, but it will be getting some professional help in a couple months when the weather warms up. Oh my God. Oh, that's so gross. Oh. I am over here being a big dumb idiot trying to clean these while they're attached to the unit when they can be removed. They come right out. Do you know how much easier it would be if they were just detached from the unit to clean them? Do you have any idea? Much easier. I'm gonna go and attach that. There it goes. It just pops right out. It's pretty gross in there. I'm just gonna leave that because I don't know how to get these grates off. I'm sure it comes off so easily, but I am always worried about breaking something. So I'm gonna leave that. Here's the plan for the mini splits. I did not do a great job cleaning it. It's pretty moldy on the inside, which is not ideal for health reasons. What I'm gonna do is my heating and cooling guy is coming next week to do some more work on my boiler system. And while he's here, I'm gonna ask him if there's any way we can clean them earlier and not wait for that 70-degree day. I just would like to get them clean because having all that mold around is not good for your health. I don't want to get too into cleaning them because I looked some things up online and, you know, there's turning the power off and removing the whole unit, and that's just more than I want to do today, especially since I'm getting it professionally cleaned in the short term. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not using the unit. I'm not sleeping in this room. I'm going to leave this one to the professionals. Okay, next up, we are removing shelves, hooks, basically all of the hardware that was left behind in this room. Let's talk about the closet. I'm so excited to take these shelves down. Currently, the closets have these metal shelves, and I cannot emphasize to you enough how many times in the short span that I have lived in this house that I have hit my head on these shelves. It's like 100% of the time. Every time I come into the closet, I hit my head on these shelves. They're at a really bad height and in a really bad position, and it's right at eyeball level. I worry I'm gonna poke my eye out on this little corner. It's like right there. These are coming down. And a little later in the video, I'm going to talk through my plans for the closet to rectify this situation. Also, I'm feeling really self-conscious in this video because I have eczema and it gets really bad in the winter. This year, my hands are just taking the brunt of everything. It's so dry. I've been washing my hands so much because of all of the house projects, and I just have all these little spots on my hands. So please be nice to me. It's just eczema. It's not contagious. I'm not unclean in any way. I just get rashes. Moving along. Fuck. Nothing to poke my eye out with. The next order of business is a little bit of a weird one. I have these cords coming out of the window. They go outside and I can see them kind of dangling out the kitchen window, but I don't actually know what they do or if they're plugged in. So I'm gonna go outside and investigate because they're clearly not doing anything up here. and they're a bit unsightly, and frankly, they feel unsafe. Here is a view of the cords from the kitchen window, and I still don't know where they go. I'm ready. Winter. Right, cords. I think they come down here, travel all along the bottom of the house, and come up over here. Okay. It appears to be old cords from maybe a telephone, like a landline hookup. It does seem to be hooked up to power, so I'm gonna leave that. And I am gonna be having some electrical work done in that bedroom eventually, so I'm just gonna leave that for my electrician. Okay, I'm about to do something, and I think it's gonna upset a lot of people. It might even upset me. I am like 93% sure that this is the move I wanna make, but there is still like a hint of doubt in my brain. Let me explain. We need to talk about the closet. The closet in my bedroom is, I think this is called a Jack and Jill closet, but it goes from the bedroom, you can walk through, into what will eventually be my craft room. A lot of you said I should switch the blue room to my craft room, and I agree. Please don't judge the amount of craft supplies I have. This is like the culmination of all of my bad financial decisions in my 20s. Anyways, the closet is not huge. I measured, it is about 3 by 7 feet. And because of the way the doors are laid out, being kitty corner from each other, there is not a wonderful layout for closet storage that I have been able to come up with. I went and looked up some standard closet measurements, and typically any sort of folded shelving is going to be about 12 to 16 inches. And then for hanging clothes, you typically would put the hanging rod at about 12 inches. And then your clothes actually stick out about 22 to 24 inches. That's 2 feet. I have a 3-foot closet. That is not leaving a ton of room for hips. So there's 4 walls in this closet, and I feel like if you imagine 12 to 24 inches of shelving space on any of these walls, it immediately becomes unfunctional. So like if you put a hanging rod or a shelf on this wall, it's going to be blocking this doorway. If you put it on this wall, it's, you know, you could, but you're losing all of this space here. This now becomes empty space. You know, this wall would be blocking this doorway. This wall would not be blocking the doorway, but I'm going to run into that same problem I was talking about before, where like you're constantly hitting your head, walking into things, because it is going to obstruct the pathway that leads from one door to the other. So while you could hang shelving probably in a pretty similar layout to what was here before, it's not practical. Like, it's not made for people. You're always going to be hitting your head. Your clothes are going to be hanging out into the middle of the alleyway, the walkway, and truly, how often are you walking from one room to another? Like, this is not something that functionally I'm ever going to do. So I've thought about it a lot, and what I would like to do is close off the doorway to the craft room. I don't love the idea of getting rid of trim. You know, I love the trim in this house. However, if that doorway was a wall, I think that opens up the possibility for shelving and storage way more than if it stayed a door. And truly, you know, something that I am always thinking about is like, what function does a space serve? And a closet is for storage. That's what a closet is for. And with the doors, the way that they are, you're really cutting into that functionality. So I'm gonna fill in that doorway. Not today. Today, I'm going to be ripping out the trim around the doorway. I do want to salvage some of it because I would love, this is the doorway to the bedroom. As you can see, it's just painted trim. I would love to use some of the trim from the outside of the other doorway to cover up this trim, just make it look a little bit more cohesive. Once that doorway is closed, I think you can do built-ins. You could do way more with storage than if there's just a big hole in the wall. I hope that makes sense. Please don't yell at me. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Ah! I'm so nervous. I feel like this is like a point of no return. I have some tools, a mallet, this tool to remove trim. It's supposed to distribute the weight a little more so you don't damage the wall behind the trim. I'm about to have a mental breakdown. The first piece of trim is this one, which is not even screwed into the wall. So I think the house is done. Remember when I said I was trying not to ruin the wall? Best laid plans. The thing is, I made a fatal assumption, and that is the closet and the bedroom are drywall. And I thought the whole upstairs was drywall, but it's not. This is plaster, and it is crumbling like plaster. So that, I don't know, it just like changes my plan a little bit. So I just got to go for it. And I thought I was just gonna be hanging drywall and mudding, but no, I gotta do drywall on one side, plaster on the other. Wow, so many opportunities to learn new things. the aftermath. I'm gonna clean up around here. It's looking a little messy, and I'll probably see you on a different day because I still have a couple more things to do to prepare for beauty. I have to take all of my debris out around the corner to the garage until I figure out what to do with it. The thing that is driving me crazy is that it is snowing again. Not only do I have to lug all of this around the corner, but it's snowing again. It has been snowing on and off for like 2 weeks, and I'm over it. Some of you did ask where I live. I am a Wisconsinite. I live in the great state of Wisconsin. Yeah, winter is hard, and you should all feel bad for me. It is a couple days later. Night has fallen, and I have a new toy. I really should be showering and like doing my nighttime routine and relaxing, but I am like so excited to try this. Let's go cut some things. I'm just gonna do a little bit. Let me explain to you what my dilemma is. The closet has this baseboard trim and it is damaged in a couple places. And I would like to replace it eventually with something really nice, but I have to remove it first. And it is pretty much flush with the wall. And so I tried to take it out the other day, but I could not get my pry bar into it and get a good leverage on the boards to pull them out. And so I thought it might be easier if I cut it, segment it into little bits so I could pry out smaller pieces at once. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right where I can see the nails. I'm gonna cut it right before, and then hopefully this whole piece will come out. And then I can pry this off and cut the next one. And we'll see how that goes. I would say that was a success. That was a good plan. Having the right tools changes everything. It's a new weekend and I'm gonna try and get a layer of spackle down today. I get all these holes filled up from all the shelves I took down. I do have one hole that's pretty big and indented, so I'm gonna actually use joint compound and some flyby tape on this guy. I have a handful of things I would like to get done today to wrap up this video. I need to sand my first layer of spackle, do the second layer of spackle, let that dry, sand that, and then I also want to finish removing the baseboards. Hopefully I can get that all done today. I do need to take it a little easy today because I did twist my ankle last night. What wild and crazy thing was I doing, you may ask? Laundry. It wasn't the laundry's fault. I tripped over the hose that drains my dehumidifier, and it's not the worst, but it's not the best. I'm hoping to get my to-do list done, but if things start to get painful, I'm gonna have to call it quits a little early. Let's go. I do think my friends and family would describe me as being pretty accident prone. I'm just always injuring myself, and it's not in the typical way. I feel like I've had so many injuries in my life, and it's always some wacky story. So, for example, in college, I broke my foot tripping over a doormat. And then also in college, I tore my ACL because I was chased by a dog. So tripping over the dehumidifier while doing laundry is pretty on brand for me. I think there are probably some people in my life that are a little nervous that I'm getting into home renovation, power tools, because the chances of injury in my life have exploded exponentially. And to that I say, I'm probably not gonna injure myself with a power tool because it's like too on the nose. It's too expected. I only ever injure myself in these weird, random ways. We're gonna roll back this footage when I chop off a finger someday. I do think I much prefer joint compound to spackle. Spackle kind of feels like you're like trying to smear Play-Doh on the wall, but joint compound is like so smooth. It's like frosting. I think the benefits of spackle are that it dries a lot faster, but if you're not in a hurry, I don't know why you wouldn't just use joint compound. It's much more pleasant to work with. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that. Please let me know, because I think I'm team joint compound. I have a hilarious story for you. So I am really into thrifting. I think you're gonna see that a lot as I start to actually do decor around the house. But, you know, I'm doing the bedroom and starting to think about, you know, how I want to decorate it, some of those decisions. And I have been on the lookout for a very specific style of bed frame. So I've been checking Facebook Marketplace for a couple weeks looking for this bed frame, and I think I found one. It is painted, so it will need to be stripped and refinished, but I do think it is the bed frame I'm looking for, and it's $50. This type of bed frame, typically, I'm looking at antique sites, it's like $1,500, $2,000, so I found one for $50, and I was like, I'll refinish it for $50. But anyways, I'm messaging the seller, coordinating a time for me to come pick it up, and he sends me his address, and it is my next door neighbor. His garage, where the bed is kept, is 5 feet from my garage. Like, what are the chances? Of all the gin joints in all the world, I can't believe it. So anyways, I have to go over there, and I guess I'm meeting my new neighbor and taking his bed. He put the bed out for me. As you can see, literally like 6 or 7 feet between our garages. What are the chances? Bed has been acquired. It is a shaker style 4-poster bed, and it is solid wood, but strip that black paint off, stain it a cherry or a mahogany. It's gonna be gorgeous. All right, big project of the day, finishing those floorboards. All finished. All right, that is it for me this time, y'all. I'm gonna do the last sanding on the spackle and give this place a good vacuum. It's important to keep your workplace clean. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'm not quite sure what I'll get up to in the next one, but I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.